Fraternal Order of Police National Vice President Joe Gamaldi. Joe, thank you for being with us. That is shocking video. Your reaction to what we're seeing when it comes especially to this transit crime?
Well, I think it's important to define just how bad it is. Felony assaults are up 200% over the last 2 years in the New York subway system. Slashings are up 35%. Overall crime is up 75%. We're seeing the same disturbing trend in Chicago where assaults are up 35%. And in Seattle, the bus drivers there don't even feel safe driving the buses because the drug fumes are so bad from the rampant drug use that they can't even drive it. I mean, this is completely insane, and it's not showing any signs of slowing down. The problem is we have rogue DAs, and the unmitigated disaster that is bail reform has created this revolving door criminal justice system, and these criminals have no fear that they're going to be held accountable. I mean, look at this individual. He bashed a woman's skull in with a hammer and kicked her down a flight of stairs. Just the other day, we had another individual who assaulted a woman and wiped feces on her face. Feces. Yeah. And then we have the homeless setting up studio apartments in these subway cars. And the sad part is that we do not have to live like this. We can embrace the rule of law and broken windows theories. We can hold criminals accountable. And I'll tell you, if DAs like Alvin Bragg and Kim Foxx don't have the spine to do it, then get out of the way and let somebody else who does.
You know, Joe, I live in New York City and have been riding the subways for more than a dozen years here. One of the things that stands out to me is something you brought up, which is just the sense, I think, by criminals that nothing's going to happen. And so it breeds this kind of culture, almost this swagger. I've watched people just shoplifting 30 pairs of shoes, sorting them out in a subway car. I've watched, actually, this was really sad, young kids, probably 10, 11 years old, clearly had just stolen a bunch of merchandise from Target, ripping it wide open on the subway platform, throwing it anywhere. I confronted them because I thought it was so sad. But, you know, my point is, it's a culture that's growing up. How do you root out that culture?
You're right. You're absolutely right. And the only way that we're going to combat this lawlessness that we're seeing is holding people accountable for their actions. I mean, this isn't rocket science. The American police officer delivered historic crime reductions in the 20 years prior. And we did it because we enforced the laws as they were on the books. We made sure that we held people accountable for their actions, and we prosecuted these crimes. But the message is very clear to the criminal element in this country. You will not be held accountable for your actions. So we have people who are out on multiple 8 or 9 felony bonds. We're not talking about shoplifting Snickers bars here. We're talking about shooting people, robbing people, and then they get cut a sweetheart deal from a rogue DA. What are you teaching that person? Just go back out there and do it again, because nothing's going to happen to you.
Yeah, it's violent crime that's so bad. Joe, I'm very short on time, but I got to ask you this, because I see police officers in the subway all the time. I thank them for their service and what they're doing. I got to believe this drives them completely nuts to try to deal with this. Just very quickly, what is morale like in some of these big places, big cities?
You know, Ryan, I've been a police officer for 17 years, and I've never seen morale as bad as it is right now. We're going out there, we're risking our lives every single day to make a difference in the community. Communities we love, communities we care about that deserve to have safe streets, they deserve to have safe schools, they deserve to feel safe just like everybody else. And when we see our hard work thrown down the drain by some of these DAs and the laws that are in place, it's completely demoralizing to us, not even to mention the rampant violence that is against us. We had 346 police officers shot this year. We're outpacing that number by 60% already this year. It's never been harder to be a police officer in this country than it is right now.
And it's a time when we need police officers to be at their very best, to be motivated to do great work in these communities so that we can recover and restore, you know, what people need, families need to live in these places. Joe, we got to leave it there. Thanks for being with us.